A winter animation sweeps across a chilly suburban street where houses, trees, and fences are seen with strong, swirling winds and falling snowflakes. On-screen text reads, Minnesota Department of Commerce presents Episode 4, Possible Weatherization Upgrades, The Envelope. Indoors, cold drafts cause window curtains and hanging ceiling lights to sway. A mother and daughter, wearing warm clothes and head coverings, are sitting on a couch, and a son is leaning on the couch, wearing warm clothes and a scarf. They are watching the daughter play with a cat.
Are my old, drafty windows the biggest reason why my home is freezing in the winter? This is a question I get all the time. It might seem that way, especially when you feel cold air coming through your home on a windy day. But in most homes, windows are rarely the biggest source of air leakage.
The cat lets out a quick meow before the view cuts outside the house. Animated red arrows and escaping air lines sprout across the home's structure, representing air leaks around the chimney, the electrical service line entrance, the front doorway, and the foundation.
This may surprise you, but there are bigger holes to plug and air leaks to seal. And we should take care of those first.
Inside a comfortable dining area, the entire multi-generational family, including the father, mother, son, daughter, grandfather, and grandmother, gather around a large table to share a warm meal together.
If you qualify for the Minnesota Weatherization program, then you are likely eligible for upgrades, repairs, or improvements that will make your home safer, healthier, and more comfortable all year long.
A male repairman wearing a hoodie, safety glasses, work gloves, and a tool belt replaces a pipe at the top of a furnace. Next, the same repairman kneels down in a basement corner using a wrench to secure a pipe connection on top of a water heater tank, before the scene returns to the family at the dining table.
Let's dive into the details on how this works.
Paula, the narrator, stands beside a pull-down projection screen. She has shoulder-length black hair and wears her blue baseball cap, safety glasses, and a yellow winter coat. She gestures toward a detailed cross-section diagram of a house, including a basement, kitchen, living room, and bedroom. Different areas of the home highlight in yellow as Paula mentions them.
I'll start with the envelope of the home. The envelope includes the foundation, walls, windows, and attic spaces under your roof. Everything that protects your living space from the outdoors.
The house illustration draws closer as the areas of the home continue to highlight as Paula mentions them.
The home performance review that I did helped me learn if your attic, basements, crawl spaces, or any other places are leaking air and heat. Remember, during the review, I used different tools, including a blower door test to learn how much your house is leaking.
Paula stands in a hallway next to a large red blower door fan assembly, sealed inside the entry frame, checking data readouts on her handheld monitor.
I may have also used an infrared camera to find trouble spots.
Indoors, Paula looks out a window while peering through an electronic infrared camera that shows complex thermal color mappings on its display screen. Outside in the swirling winter storm, her hand lifts the infrared camera to capture a complete thermal image showing major heat escape points across the building's facade.
These tests help me figure out where you may need insulation and air sealing to make your home more efficient and comfortable. You may be surprised to learn that some houses have very little insulation in the walls or attics, but it's true. As part of weatherizing your home, insulation may be added to walls, basements, or attics.
The repairman kneels down to install insulation inside a wall cavity.
A common form of insulation is blown into hidden areas like attics and walls.
The repairman uses a large, flexible hose to blow insulation material across an open attic floor. Next, he stands on a ladder, pushing the same hose into a circular opening cut into an interior wall before the scene returns to the attic work.
It consists of cellulose pieces made of recycled paper sent through a tube into the walls or attic. Adding insulation is like putting a big, warm, and cozy blanket over your home.
On an exterior view of the house during the winter storm, a large blanket animates to wrap snugly around the entire building, while an animated smiling face appears on the roof slope.
But you wouldn't want a blanket with a bunch of holes in it, right?
Several holes open across the blanket, and the smile on the roof immediately shifts into a sad, worried facial expression.
That's where air sealing comes in.
The animated blanket and roof face fade away, and red lines and arrows representing air leaks are seen moving around areas of the house, as Paula mentions them.
In many homes, there are gaps around chimneys, electrical wires, or other parts of the house where air can sneak by.
The view switches back to the house cross-section diagram. Animated red lines and arrows demonstrate warm air escaping outward, while blue lines track cold air pouring inward.
Even if there is insulation, air can still move through the gap. And when air can move out of the house, it can also move into the house. And that is when you might feel cold drafts in the winter.
Back in the chilly living room, the mother, son, daughter, and cat sit huddled together, looking miserable with their arms tightly crossed. Curtains float away from the windows, overhead lights sway, and animated blue lines swirl all around the room to represent persistent cold drafts.
So even before insulation is added, those air leaks have to be taken care of. Spray foam, caulking, or board insulation can be used to seal up leaks into attics, through walls, and where the home sits on the foundation.
A quick clip sequence tracks the repairman injecting white spray foam across the uninsulated attic floor plates, then shifting to a caulking gun to lay a clean bead of sealant along a cracked ceiling joint line. Afterward, Paula inspects a hairline crack in a window pane and notes the details down on her clipboard.
Getting rid of air leaks will help the insulation work better and keep your home more comfortable and save you money too. We also look at the windows and will replace broken glass, add needed weather stripping, and make sure all windows close nice and tight.
Paula uses her hands to firmly lock a window shut, and the scene transitions back to the outdoor winter animation of the windy neighborhood street.
But window replacement is rare, as our program is not a window replacement program. When a home has been well sealed and insulated, there's little air leakage, and that's a good thing.
The repairman checks the perimeter seal around an attic hatch framework, then stands outside, blowing loose insulation through a hole in the exterior siding. The view returns to the warm living room, where the multi-generational family is relaxed and smiling as the father and children sit on the floor, working on a puzzle.
But while we're sealing everything up, we don't want to sacrifice air quality.
The view zooms in closely on the grandmother, who lets out a sudden sneeze as floating green germ particles swirl through the air around her to illustrate bad air quality.
So, we may install controlled ventilation by adding a continuously running fan, usually in a bathroom.
The repairman mounts the plastic grill cover onto a freshly wired ceiling exhaust fan inside a bathroom. Outside, a spinning fan icon appears directly over the center of the house.
This keeps the air moving throughout the home and helps keep moisture levels balanced.
Paula speaks to the camera from a basement floor in front of the utility furnace and water heater. Quick cuts show her testing a kitchen gas range with a diagnostic electronic probe, the repairman sliding a replacement pipe into place on the furnace, and Paula adjusting a water heater temperature dial.
In the next video, I'll tell you all you need to know about possible equipment upgrades.
Text appears on a white background. This project was supported by a grant awarded to the Minnesota Department of Commerce, Division of Energy Resources by the U.S. Department of Energy. Content created by Energy Division staff in partnership with GDS Associates and Studio 21 Media. The text fades, and the Minnesota Department of Commerce, Division of Energy Resources logo animates onto the screen.